Hello, welcome to another tutorial. Today we're gonna deal with granite. So we're just gonna sculpt some blocks. As you can see, I have a large wall here and I'm planning to use this for baking purposes, or can be used in Unreal Engine 5. We can decimate this and make actual meshes, because the poly count is not that important anymore with the nanite system in Unreal Engine 5. Okay, so I'm just gonna cover the basic how you can get like roughly to this level just by using a brush, and I use for this purpose trim adaptive brush. So you don't need any fancy tools or anything like that. Although for the detailing I use some pre-made cracks because that would take a lot of time to do it. So I'll just open Maya quickly and just put my hard mesh here. We're not going to use it, and I'll just use a simple polygon. And this is just the preparation, right? So it's just going to be probably, just put this to 10 centimeters by 10 by 10. So just going to be maybe 5. Okay, just a simple block. So for my grid, I just have, okay, I need to change my grid to 100 units. That's going to be 100 centimeters maximum. So that's going to be 2 meters. And then I have grid lines every meter. And then I have divisions. Or maybe I can put the grid lines every 10 centimeters, like that. So what I did here, I put my axes. Let me just make my axes red so you can see them better. And then the subdivisions, I'll just keep them gray. Apply. Grid lines every meter. Let's see. Divisions. Okay, so that's going to be 10 centimeters, right? So we have subdivisions, 10 subdivisions for every meter. Just to set things, the scale of things in Maya before we export it. Okay, so let me just put this to, let's say 50 by 50 by 25, something like this. That's going to be my block. And what I'm going to do, I'll select the edges and I'll just bevel them. Then I turn off the chamfer and I decrease this fraction because I want to keep the volume. So if I press 3, you can see now it's keeping the volume. If I press 1, so otherwise I would have just it would have become more like a sphere or like something very, very round and soft. Okay, so actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some divisions here just by using the multicut with Control and Shift, right? Control and Shift. So I'll just subdivide this like this here. Maybe if I'm going too fast, let me show you guys another way. So we can just do it, come before this, just undo. Just use the multicut here, once like that. So just holding Control Shift. So I'm in multicut, so if I double click on the multicut, I can use my 50% snap step, so enter, right? So if I just hold Control and Shift, you see it's only going to go to the half. So it's going to be perfect, perfect division, right? And we can now just select these edges like that. Okay. And now we can just shift right click bevel, chamfer off, reduce this fraction. Actually, let me show you without the fraction, or what's happening without the fraction. So if I press 3, you see it's kind of becomes like a pillow or something like that, or a tank or a gas tank or something. So we don't want that. We want, let's just select use constraints and hard. Just select only the hard edges, so we don't have to do it manually. Then we shift right click bevel, chamfer off, fraction, just close. I don't want it to be really, really close, so I have a little bit of soft round thing. That's gonna help me when I'm gonna use the brush. So something like that. Okay, then we can actually export this. We can shift right click, smooth it, maybe twice, right? And then we can export it to ZBrush. So that's pretty much it what I did with all of these. So that's, if I press Shift F, you can see how it actually looks like in here. All right. So next, I'll just isolate this because this is going to get heavy, and probably I want to Control D like twice maybe, or maybe even 3 times, and then I need to delete my lower subdivisions, and then I'll use my Dynamesh in here, something like 2000. Let's see if it's working. Yeah. Let's see, I have 1.3 million. Maybe I can get a little bit higher. Yeah, that's a good number. So coming here to the sculpting, I have BTA, BTA, that's stream adaptive. And then I have my alpha. From the circular one, I have the square one. I think it's alpha 28. There's another one, alpha 59, that has sharp edges. I guess you can play with these, see which one works best. So the first thing that I do, I'm not even using a tablet, I'm just using my mouse, and I'm using something like a 8 brush, and I'm just tapping here and there. The point is that you don't want to make this look too uniform. So you want, in certain places you want to have more, in certain places you don't want to have anything. Although the edges, they're most likely quite worn out. I'm probably going to do only one face, so we keep this tutorial nice and short. And yeah, this is a decent start. You feel like it's looking pixelated a little bit, but I think it's not going to be that, you're not going to get that close. So what I'm doing now, I'm actually using the edge, the top side or the bottom side, right? So I'm trying to kind of drag, and I'm you see my top side. Basically, I'm trying to pull that, get an angle, right? So I'm using. You have to probably have some repeat a few times and experiment. but you don't want to go too deep. You basically want to take a side. Basically, I'm taking either the top side here, or the bottom side. So if I'm taking the bottom side, this is what's going to happen. I'm always taking the bottom side. I'm using because otherwise you're going to create this, and you don't want that. So, and if you keep clicking, you see that it's kind of fading. You're going to have that fade effect. Right, and we try to connect, and we don't want to see that square brush. So one thing we can do, we can store, disable the Dynamesh for now, and we go to morph target and we store the morph target. Okay, so again, I'm getting this starting point, and then I either take it from the bottom or from the top. So if I take it from the top, I should go either down or sideways, and if I take it from the top, the dark or the shadow, it comes from the top. Yeah, you can see, like, and it depends on where you, how, like the depth that you're taking in. So basically it's like sampling this depth or sampling less depth. What are we trying to do? We're not trying to make like really obvious things like this. I mean, you can go like that, yes, quite deep, yeah, but you should never like go very like this obvious, you know, because that was gonna create a lot of repetition. So you're gonna see that if you're planning to reuse that stone, you're gonna have a lot of repetition seeing that spot in multiple places. This one has a little. This one is a little bit significant, or you can see it is in one corner, but you can turn it on all sides. So this is, I think it's a great benefit of having this workflow, that you can not just bake the normals, rearrange them, reposition them, but also you can build your walls inside Unreal just by using these blocks, right? And you can, we're gonna decimate them to reduce the number of polygons to a couple of thousands. Yeah, so keep on doing this. Maybe it's not that great to have parallel lines here. So now I'm sampling from the bottom, because otherwise I'm going to get this square effect, right? And this looks very unnatural, and we don't want that. So we want to sample from either the top or from the bottom. Sometimes we can bring them together. Sometimes we can take this one, bracket one side going up on one, the other part going down. Try to avoid seeing this clicking a lot of, I'm doing a lot of clicks. So just by using the mouse, no, I'm not using any tablet. I'm not using any, you can see that we're not using any fancy brushes. This brush, once you learn how to use it, in the beginning it will feel unpredictable, But once you get to shift click on this, once you get to know it, then this is going to be your best friend when sculpting rocks and you know, bricks and stuff like that. And I'm trying to also when you're sculpting in the corners, um, I'm trying to make this flowing from one side to another. So is you want to have it like it's connected somehow. That's a small brush. And in the beginning, as I said, we want to use slightly larger brush, and then we want to progressively go down, reduce the size of the brush. And some of them, they would fade, right? This is gonna appear like it's fading, and some of them are gonna connect to others. Some of them are gonna be abrupt. So just have some reference. Um, like what type of stone are you doing? Is it limestone? Is it um, granite? This is a quite a hard granite. Is very sturdy and it lasts a long time if you're using this for building purposes. And I can use this square thing just to peel off a layer, as you can see here. So I'm just going in and just peeling it off. Um, Now, if we don't like this, let's say I like how it goes, but I made some mistakes. We can change the brush to morph. Okay, morph BMG, and that is gonna go back to the previous time. Before we, you know, we pressed morph when we cached, we store that data in there. Let's see if we can use an alpha here. Spray, it's working better. Gonna look like a little bit too organic. Um, Maybe we have to do some adjustment to the brush. But for now, let's just use the trim adaptive. Trim adaptive. Sometimes when I have this sharp crease here, we can just go in and bring this down to break that further. Because one thing we don't want to see, we don't want to see those squares like this one. This one is actually a little quite fine. On the edges. I can bring the other ones just to see how it looks like overall. Yeah, I think it's going well. So for now, I think I would just leave it like that. I mean, I can still go on and go on for a longer while, but you get the point. And as I said, you need to be consistent. Some of these they need to cross on the other side and make it work. Um, but for now, we can add some noise. We can add some. Okay, yeah, something like that. This is quite okayish. And then let's say okay, and then apply to mesh, and we get some tiny pores in the stone. You can add more, but obviously you need some brushes. I have my own collection here of AJ. These are free brushes. Orb. I think we have to pay for these. I'm not really sure. Can't remember. So these brushes, they're very good. Don't remember where I got them from, but it's a nice pack. It's going to speed up your workflow, and then you can just add lots of detail in a short amount of time without too much hassle. If you want these, I think they're free, but I'm not sure. I don't think I'm allowed to share them, but I can look them up and see if I can find the place I got them from. Anyway, that's the technique. I hope you guys and also cracks. You can sculpt your own cracks. Um, these brushes are funny. Sometimes they just duplicate. I'm not sure what's the thing with them. That's that. I hope you guys found this useful. See you soon.